Hello, this is from Caracas. I'm Fray Gomez. Two events were recently celebrated in Caracas in solidarity with Venezuela, its people, and the government of President Nicolás Maduro. On this, I will talk with the internationalist Micaela Ovelar. Hello, how are you?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. The 15th Presidential Summit of ALBA TCP took place in early March. Why do the ALBA members consider that it is necessary to support Venezuela now more than ever? What is the political, economic, and social context in this country nowadays?
Yes, first of all, just to say that Venezuela is the front country of international aggression, not by any nation in the country, but the most important nation, the more powerful nation, which is the United States. And it is easy to see the impact of the sanctions here this year, the couple years that has been getting more strong and strong. So this is the moment to give support, to show solidarity to Venezuela because the confrontation that it has with the United States.
Is it only on a confrontation and a political topic, or is there more? I mean, in the economic topic, what could we say on Venezuela?
Yeah, it is.
Because many people, including the Venezuelan authorities, has repeatedly said that there is an economic blockade. Is that right?
Yeah, it is true. It is true. It's a financial blockade that we are suffering. And we have suffered this since Hugo Chavez came to power. But it's getting stronger with Nicolás Maduro.
And why?
Well, because United States sees Venezuela as a threat. Why is it as a threat? Because United States is used to be the voice that order all the countries what to do. And it's not the case of Venezuela. Venezuela has its own voice, has its own independent foreign policy, which is based on solidarity, which is based in economy, which is not based as the United States in investment and foreign trade. It's based in human. It's based in humans and the humans' needs. And this is a threat for United States. Any individual that says something different of United States government is a threat for United States as an state. Imagine a state. We're talking about Venezuela, who has the biggest reserve of oil in the planet. So it's a very strong country, Venezuela, these days. Even if we are in crisis, in a conflict and a difficult situation, the situation is getting worse, and the situation begins because of the sanction and because the different voice that Venezuela it's representing in all the country and in all the world, not just in Latin America, not just in our nation, in South American nations. So that's the reason why. Actually, it happens the same with Cuba. It happens the same with Argentina when Fernandez and Nestor Kirchner were in the government. So yes, it's basically because United States see us as a threat, That's the main thing. And of course, there are many economic issues, like for example, Petro. This is a cyber currency. It is a crypto coin that it's introduced in the economic world by one state. This is unique. It's the first time that happens in history, and Venezuela is the first country to bring this idea, to bring this alternative to the economic system, which is ruled by United States. So it has to do in politics things. It has to do with economic things. And it's affecting us social, because we are suffering this as human, as normal citizens. We are suffering this in Caracas, in Venezuela, in the whole country. So it has to do with both things, economic and politics.
And in a social point of view, taking into consideration that this year, 2018, is a very particular year because there will be election soon.
Yeah, that's the main thing, the main thing. So you will see that every day the aggression against Venezuela is going up. So it's going to be like an escalated of tension. and it's going to affect all areas, all policies, like transportation, like energy, like water, like food. So they're going to attack us for all the places that they can, not just for external, or not just by dominating and blockading us financial through the financial system, but even getting into domestic issues, which of course is intervention. And they're going to try to attack us for all the flags that they can.
And what has been the opposition wing's role?
Well, the opposition is an actor, but the main actor is the United States government.
Okay.
So, but the opposition...
So they follow, is that true, that the opposition wing follows the orders coming from the United States of America?
Yes, sure, they're doing this. And actually it's important to say that now the opposition decided to participate in the elections. And that is the result of the dialogue between the government and the opposition. And it's very important, this, because if you truly love or if you truly care, or if you truly respect the human rights, the democracy, you need to and you have to allow other people to talk, to speak, and the participation of other candidates. It's important. It's important to show that this is a democratic country and that the government wants more people to participate. So in order to enforce or endorse the democracy that we have here. So that's important. But we don't have to forget that the opposition is playing with or for United States government or the U.S. State Departments.
Okay, at this summit, the ALBA members asked all the governments that make part of the CELAC to respect the principle of unity in order to preserve Latin America as a peace zone. What message is the ALBA sending to the so-called Lima group?
The message is clear. Latin America is a peace zone. We love the peace. We wanted to have fraternal relations with all the countries. And we also know that these countries in the region that are now our enemy, like any organization, you have enemies inside. Well, in Latin America, we have enemies. Inside the region, we have enemies. But they are also actors that follow rules or follow orders of United States. So I will say that playing with, for example, the visit of the Secretary of State Tillerson in Latin America, it makes a switch of what they were thinking to do, and when the Secretary of State decided to come to Latin America, they switched it to another direction. So you can see that the message that we're saying to our own our own state, but also we know that what is behind that. We know that it's this confrontation with the United States, and we wanted to say that we wanted to dialogue. We wanted to participate, to put our voice in these meetings as a free state that we are.
Yes.
So it's a peace message. It's a political message, and we clearly understand, the government clearly understand what is behind these decisions.
President Maduro has said that no matter what, he will participate at the Summit of the Americas because he has the support of the peoples in the region. What do you think of this?
That's a political decision. As a head of a state and government, Maduro has the right to participate, and that's a political thing. But then you have also technical things.
Okay.
Like, for example, if the government of Peru doesn't give the plane the permission to fly into the territory of the air territory of Peru,
even if it is a presidential plane?
Even if it's a presidential plane, it's going to be a disaster in diplomatic sense. but could be also a disaster. It could be you put in danger the life of a president, of a head of a state.
What could be then the implications?
Well, of course, we have to review the relationship with Peru, but I think that both the government of Venezuela has the right to participate, is showing that it has the right, also it's taking the right decision, the political decision to do so, because it's representing, as we talked before, the voice of our region, of our people. And we have to take this boy, to put this boy there in this presidential summit. Then on the other hand, Peru could be forced to take this measure. Mm-hmm. I mean, we hope not, but this is in a scenario, right?
Yes.
So I would say we come to more conflict in the region, like a climate of tension. I don't know when it's going to finish. Probably this is going to show all the pressure that the United States put into these countries that now are enemy of a region. But it could have huge implication. It depends of what President Maduro decides to do, because he could also say, okay, I'm showing the world the willing to participate. I have the right to participate, but they don't allow me to. Why? Because they don't want to hear our voice. Mm-hmm. Because it's the same what we talked before, that if you really truly love and respect the democracy, you have to allow everybody mm-hmm. to say their opinion, to express themselves. This is like individual, normal person, but especially to a person or a head of state that is representing a whole population, a whole country. And in the case of Venezuela, it's particular, it's special, because it's representing many voices that it cannot be heard by any other representative.
Considering the rest of the countries that make part of the OAS, we have seen two clear positions. One of them, countries that have already said that they won't participate at the Summit of the Americas if Venezuela is not allowed to participate in it. And there are others that consider that they have to go to the Summit of the Americas because they need to reinforce Venezuela's voice in that summit. So what do you think of this scenario?
Well, there are political decisions. Mm-hmm. Each state is sovereign.
Okay.
Each state has the right to express their foreign policy in the best way they can, and always respecting the rest of the country. So if there are countries that they decided not to go if Venezuela don't go, well, they take the decision. It's a solidarity decision, mm-hmm. And it's supporting the cause of Venezuela. And if the other country wanted to express in going, I think it's also their right, and they're expressing their sovereignty and independence in political decisions. So I think in my personal case, I will celebrate both, because they're expressing themselves, and that is a good thing for democracy in the region. So
you're right. The Caribbean countries thanked Venezuela's aid through PetroCaribe at the ALBA summit. How much has the Bolivarian government contributed to the social development of the Caribbean nations through this mechanism of economic cooperation?
A lot. We have missions like Misión Milagro that has been made in realizing eye surgery for blind people, and also to give glasses to the people, poor people with, mm-hmm. with less resources. And there also been doctors graduated by these programs, but also you have like other sectors like sport. There have been many sport tours or games. So yeah, based in education, in health, in sport, and other social areas, the investment of Venezuela, it's very, very important for the region. I might also say that if United States, instead of giving millions of dollars into opposition to withdraw constitutional governments. There will be also a huge investment for the region, a good investment for social causes.
But the United States didn't do anything?
No, they didn't.
Even in a part of their territory as Puerto Rico, for instance, after having been hit this territory by hurricanes recently.
Yeah, even in United States, you don't have health security for everybody. The roads are destroyed. They also have inflation. So the treat that they give to the immigrants, it's horrible, it's terrible. But they speak about human rights. But they speak about democracy. So you have both faces. One that says that they respect democracy and human rights, but is giving millions of dollars since always. This is the story of United States. Into withdraw governments and put dictatorship, real dictatorship. And then you have governments as Venezuela who are really doing things for improving the life of all citizens in the region. So you can see now.
Speaking in solidarity, after the ALBA TCP summit ended, delegations from more than 95 countries were gathered in Caracas to say, "We are all Venezuela." Is the South American country as isolated as some governments have said, for instance, the United States government?
More than 300 delegates came to Venezuela for this summit, Todos Somos Venezuela.
You're right.
And it is a summit based on solidarity. And they also was good for them to know the reality in the country. So we are not that isolated. And also the delegate and the participants that they came to Venezuela, they showing they are showing the respect of what the government is doing and the people is doing. And I think they came here to see by their own eyes what is the real situation now. Now that we are in a big social situation, and some of them before, and they can make a comparison. They can make a comparison between how it was before and how it nowadays, and you can easily find they can easily find, because I have the chance to speak with many of them, the real effect of sanction in the country.
What topics have been in discussion during the sessions of the Solidarity event in Caracas?
Well, many things, like also like the food situation, health situation as well, politicians, political environment in the region.
Okay.
Some of the delegates see us. We are having enormous problems in Central America. But some of them say we lost Central America. Some of them see us as well enemies in South America, enemies of the Bolivarian Revolution, or any other voice that they speak in another way that the United States does. So the base is, the first thing is solidarity with the Bolivarian or the Free Nation causes. The second thing is that they wanted to see the real situation that the population is going through, and trying to show their solidarity with the people. Yes, with the people and the government.
Okay. How did the delegates react when they saw the way the Venezuelans are living in this economically hit country? Because I've seen that they also visited places not only in Caracas but in other states of Venezuela.
Yes, I have the chance as well to speak with one of the delegates. He has been here. He had been visited Venezuela in the 70s, and the 18s, and the 19s.
Okay.
So he had the chance to see,
to make comparisons,
to make a comparison between that period of time. One of them has spent more than 20 years here. So he speaks Spanish, he knows the people, he was working all over the city, and he also has the chance to travel through the country.
And after comparing the situations, what did they say?
Well, first, that it's not true that this is the worst period of time that we are having. That's not true. They saw the other Venezuela, and they realized the effect of the sanctions, and they know that even with the effects of the sanction, all the efforts that the government is doing to try to bring food to the people, to try to cover health coverage. But also they know that it's difficult because of the financial blockade. So for this kind of people, special person, it is not easy to fool them.
Okay.
It's not easy at all. They can tell you by their own experience of life that we are traveling in a difficult situation, we are going through a difficult situation, but we are trying to pass this, and the government is doing effort for this.
Good. What ideas are contained in the entitled the Declaration of Caracas at the end of the Solidarity meeting?
Well, the idea that Venezuela has to go on struggling against these aggressions, imperialist aggression, and that the Venezuela government is going to have the support, first of all, which is, of course, solidarity.
What social actions did they suggest?
Well, they said many things, but I will say, first of all, we have to gather together in many more forums or summits, social summits, to get together, to be able to not disconnect to each other.
And to tell the truth of Venezuela worldwide.
Yes, as well, yeah, that they are doing that as well.
Well, Micaela, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Remember, this is from Caracas. I'm Ray Gomez, and thank you for being with us.